Hi, good evening, everybody, to all the sisters out there. Today is our first episode of Sisterz Chit Chat with me, Sister Zarina Zaharuddin. So today, in our first episode, we are very privileged to have our Sis Nabilah all the way from the United Kingdom. Apa khabar, Sis Nabilah? Selamat datang.
Bye, Alhamdulillah. Thanks for having me.
What is the time now in UK? Because in Singapore, we are about 8 p.m. What is the time now in UK?
Singapore, 8 p.m. So that's 12 in the afternoon here in the UK. So Singapore is actually 8 hours ahead of the UK in the winter season.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
the winter season there. Yeah, we are pretty cool here also in Singapore. We're having our rain practically every day.
But it's definitely not as cold as over here. It's
Is it?
freezing cold, as you can see. I'm all
Yeah,
wrapped up, keeping myself nice and warm, really cozy in the house. Yeah, nice and warm.
Okay, so you are in United Kingdom, and actually, how far is your place from London? How far? If you drive, yeah.
To drive to get to London, the central of London, about 3-hour drive.
3 hours.
But 3 hours, yeah. So it's a 3-hour drive, but it depends on where you want to go in London. It could take even longer than 3 hours. But what we often do, we'll take the train. So from York Station to King's Cross Station, which is about 2 hours. 2 hours really go really quickly. So you get on the train, you just read a magazine, have your breakfast. Well, we normally set off in the morning. And by the time you finish, reading your magazine or book or just watching something online, and another 10-15 minutes to King's Cross. So yeah, not too far from London. So I'm in York, not too far from York.
Oh, so you are in York. Okay, not New York, yeah?
Yeah. Not New York. I'm near York. If I mention York, I think many people will recognize the place because it's a touristic attraction. It's a place where lots of tourists come and visit here on holiday. I'm just outside of York, which is in North Yorkshire.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But not New York. That's a different place altogether. That's in the States. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, actually, I have one question for you. Yeah, Sis Nabilah, I know that you are Singaporean, yeah, and you moved to UK. That was how long ago?
Well, yes, I'm born and bred in Singapore. I moved to the UK in total. I've lived in the UK for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on and off because
because of
2 years back to Singapore after our first move to the UK. So in total, we've lived in the UK for 10 years.
10 years. So nak tanyalah ni, masih boleh cakap Melayu ke? Atau cakap Melayu macam speaking London?
Boleh cuba?
Oh, boleh cuba?
Boleh uji kalau nak.
Okay, ya, saya tahu anda adalah mantan guru bahasa Melayu kan di Singapura. Jadi pastinya anda masih boleh bercakap dan berbahasa Melayu dengan sebaiknya. Ya.
Nak cakap bahasa baku ke nak cakap biasa-biasa je macam orang pasar, cakap pasar?
Bukan macam pasar. Nak cakap bahasa warta berita ke nak cakap bahasa kita? So kita cakap bahasa kita je lah. Tak nak bahasa warta berita.
Bahasa warta berita tu bahasa apa? Bahasa baku
Bahasa baku.
Oh. Ya, sebab masa sekolah dulu kan, kalau ajar bahasa Melayu kan ada perubahan daripada macam cakap biasa, saya, dia, tak apa, nak kena ubah bahasa baku kan, saya, dia, mereka. Jadi nak yang mana satu? Nak yang baku ke atau yang biasa-biasa je?
Okey, saya faham anda adalah merupakan mantan cikgu ya di sekolah, guru sekolah. Jadi waktu anda beralih
guru bahasa Melayu.
Ya, guru bahasa Melayu. Jadi waktu anda beralih atau bercadang untuk berhenti daripada mengajar, artinya waktu itu memang bahasa baku belum lagi dijalankan di sekolah, benar?
Masa saya mengajar, waktu itu kita gunakan bahasa baku.
Oh, sudah digunakan.
Ujian, peperiksaan, lisan, semuanya murid-murid harus sebut dalam bahasa baku. Tapi bila kita berbual dengan murid-murid dekat kelas untuk menjelaskan pelajaran ke apa, cakap macam biasa je.
Oh, okay. Ya, okay lah. Mungkin saya ingin lebih fokus kepada your life right now in London. Yeah, so let's go back to speaking London. Okay. So I know it's not easy to start all over again. I understand that you have established your career in Singapore. Yeah, I mean, being a teacher, it's very stable job. So what is it that I know it's not easy to just leave everything and start all over again in a totally new country, new environment, new sets of friends, yeah. So leaving your family behind. So maybe this is something that I want to ask from you. Yeah, what are the challenges that you face when you move to another country and start all over again?
Well, yeah, I think whether when you decide to start anew, whether in your career, in your life, changes in your life, there's always that fear of uncertainty. But I think at the end of the day, you can only do your best, do your personal best. And I think for us Muslims, at the end of the day, you do your best and you leave it everything, the rest of it to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I think you have the uncertainty, but also at the same time, the faith that everything will just turn out fine. Yeah, I would say that the reason why I leave Singapore is because I have to leave Singapore with my husband because of his new job. So that's the reason why we relocated to the UK. And of course, having a career and pretty much, so used to living in Singapore is a big consideration. But I think it's a leap of faith. You believe that wherever you go in this world, it's all, Allah is always there with you. I think that that's something giving me that confidence, that assurance. And I think most importantly, also the blessings that I get from my parents, from my family, to venture abroad, because it won't be easy to make that decision if, let's say, I've got resistance from family, because we are a pretty close-knit family. So yeah, having taken that step to leave Singapore and relocate to the UK, it has its challenges. Yeah, living miles away from home, from family, from what I'm so used to, familiar with growing up, it's totally new. The culture, difference in culture here. Lucky for me, everybody here speaks English. If I were to move somewhere else where I don't speak the language, I think there'll be another add-on challenge. So language is no barrier. I can communicate with everyone, anyone that I meet. Culture, yes, and of course the seasons. In Singapore, it's pretty much hot, humid. We have the cold season, the monsoon a bit, but it's pretty much hot and humid all year round. But here with the 4 seasons, yeah, it takes a while to get used to the different seasons. But it's something that I embrace with, open arms, and take all the challenges or whatever here. And yeah, alhamdulillah, we've lived here for 10 years now, and it's not without its challenges, but I can say that I'm quite comfortable living here. Different lifestyle, different experience, but I think it makes me a more, it makes me a more rich person, open-minded, and just embrace, yeah.
And I think you're more independent, right?
Yes, I'm independent. Well, obviously, when I'm in Singapore, even though, living with my parents and all that, but I think the fact that when you are, I think it can be helped. You either, I don't know, I wouldn't use the word, you either sink or float. Maybe that's too extreme. But yeah, when you are away from your family, you're away from your familiar surroundings and all that, you just have to yes, put that, whatever shield or guard or whatever, and tell yourself that, yeah, you have to do this. So yeah, I would say that I'm pretty independent and do my very best.
Yeah, to adapt to the changes, right? In new country, new yeah, unfamiliar places, faces. Okay, so having said about that, how do you create your own career? You know, being a school teacher, and now suddenly you have to start, because I see the word yoga at the back. So I know that is something so close to you. Yeah. So yeah, maybe you can share with us, those who are listening, how did you came with this yoga thing? Yeah.
Okay, I think teaching has always been in me, being a teacher in the classroom, sharing my knowledge, imparting knowledge to students from a government school. I actually moved to a private school. So from those experience of teaching. So when my husband and we moved to the UK, of course, it takes a while. I have to give myself time to just settle down and get familiarized with things, Once that's out of the way, what's next? So I love teaching. So I must admit that it's through my husband's encouragement. He knows that I love yoga. We've been practicing doing yoga together since we live in Singapore. So he said that, why do you get trained and then share your knowledge of yoga, because I can see that you're really good at it. So I think with his encouragement, with his support, I decided to be trained as a yoga teacher, which is, another way of also imparting knowledge, teaching. And then from then on, I started my first class. And you always have to start somewhere after you're certified. So the confidence grew, and the people that come to my class start to grow as well. So from in-person classes that I do at yoga studios, now I'm actually doing both yoga studios in person and also online classes via Zoom. So that has also, given me different experience, different outlook of different teaching platform. Yeah, so I must say that yoga has kept me busy enough to get me out of trouble. So yeah, I'm enjoying teaching yoga now.
And I think yoga is also indirectly keep you sane, right? Emotionally and mentally.
Yes, you're right. Yoga help to distress, yeah, help us to just find that balance in our active and busy lifestyle. I think we are so caught up with the busyness of our modern active lifestyle that we sometimes get swept into it and we don't realize how fast we are going. So with yoga, I know some people think that yoga is such a big word. It's all about stretching. You have to be flexible. You have to be this, you have to be that. But actually, it's just a word at the end of the day. Yoga is a practice of just, tuning into your breath and to connect your mind and body. So you can never separate your mind and body. That's why chronic illnesses or people, get depressed or anxious and all these illnesses come about is because when you're not in touch with your own self. So yoga can help you to come back to yourself, come back inward and just reset and just find the balance that we need in our lives.